How to beat your competition using the Ooda loop. Colonel John Boyd, who was known as the fighter pilot who changed the art of war, coined the term OODA loop in the 1950s. He believed that when at a disadvantage, a competent pilot could still overcome that disadvantage by attacking the mind of his opponent. His observations led him to a greater understanding of human reaction time and the coming of the term Ooda loop. The Ooda loop, for observation, orient, decide, and act, essentially means getting inside your adversary's head. Whether we're talking about a football game, a battlefield engagement, a courtroom showdown, or a political campaign, it means anticipating the other side's most likely next move and responding in a way that counters it faster than the opponent can adjust. The Ooda loop, which stands for observation, orient, decide, and act, is a tool that can help you beat your competition. It starts with observation, collecting as much data about your competition. The next step is orient, which is making sense of the observation and distinguishing the relevant from the insignificant. Then you decide on a course of action, and finally act, and continue the loop until you get desired results. Here's an interesting story about Hindustan Unilever Limited and how it eliminated its competition, Nirma detergent, following a strategy much like the Ooda loop. Hindustan Unilever Limited is the local subsidiary of Unilever in India, a popular detergent brand called the Surf. The brand Surf enjoyed 70% share of the Indian laundry detergent powder marketing during 1965, and its only relative substitute was hard bars of laundry soap. Competition emerged in the 1970s from an unexpected source, a brand named Nirma, a less efficient but much cheaper form of detergent. Developed in his own home by an entrepreneur named Kasanabai Patel, Nirma cost 1/3 of the price of Surf, and it became popular even though it did not contain any perfume and neither brightened nor softened the clothes that were washed with it. Nirma became phenomenally successful. By 1977, it was the second strongest detergent brand in India, selling just under 1/3 of the volume of Surf, boasting a market share of 12% versus Surf's 30.6%. As Nirma grew, several aspects of its strategy remained distinct from that of HLL. Whereas Surf was sold in classier paper containers, Nirma's yellow powder was mixed and inserted in polyurethane bags by low-cost manual laborers. Many of the customers who became loyal to Nirma were less affluent. They had never used Surf, instead switched directly from inconvenient soap bars to Nirma's increasingly famous coarse, yet relatively cheap and effective yellow powder. HLL did not notice this new threat for some time and for years did nothing to address Nirma's growing presence in the marketplace. By 1977 and 1985, Nirma sales grew at a compound rate of 49%. By 1985, Nirma was selling 200,000 tons a year, and its market share was 58% compared with Surf's 8.4%. HLL still perceived its core market as affluent Indian consumers, and Surf sales and revenues were still growing and helping drive profits for the company. But then, in 1986, challenging HLL's once controlling position even further, Nirma announced that it was testing a new detergent bar that would compete directly with HLL's leading Rin detergent bar product. This was a caramba moment for HLL. It ran a national advertising campaign to show that Surf, with double the amount of detergent of Nirma, was closer to Nirma in price than first appeared. Then the Ooda loop began. After observing the growth of Nirma, they oriented on a consumer presence of low-cost detergent. HLL decided to address the needs of the less affluent Indian consumer. They decided to launch a new, low-cost detergent brand in India called Wheel. HLL created advertising distinguishing Wheel from Nirma, asserting that Wheel offered extra power, better lather, and was safe on hand and clothes. HLL also relaunched its Rin product, using advertising that Rin offered a less expensive wash with more lather than the competing Nirma product. Soon, HLL was successfully competing with Nirma in the popular, lower-cost segment of the market. Years later, Nirma began to decline in the market. Now it's a sequel for Hindustan Unilever, which launched the Ayush brand to compete with the rise of Patanjali in India. Leave your valuable comments below on this strategy. The Ooda loop is a great strategic tool to beat your competition. All you need to observe is the current and future threats of your business. Orient yourself and make sense of the information to decide on a new course of action, and act on the best strategies and continue the loop till you get the best desired results. If you have any additional suggestions or tools, please feel free to share in comments or write to us. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe.